our next step, now that we understand how to solve an equality, is to figure out how to solve an absolute value inequality. So I've given you sort of a guideline here, and we're going to go through solve this question here. 2 times the absolute value of 3x minus 6 is greater than 18. So the first thing that we're going to do is actually rewrite this, but with an equal sign. So like this. And we're going to solve that using our procedure for an equality. So using the procedure from the last video. So what would we do? I'm going to run out of space here, so I'm going to do a little bit of up here. I'm going to isolate to get my absolute value on its own. So I'm going to divide by 2 on both sides, and I end up with 3x minus 6 is equal to 9. All right, my next step would be to split this up into 2 different equations so that I can remove that absolute value sign. So I'll do my little dotted line here. I end up with 3x minus 6 is equal to a positive 9, and 3x minus 6 is equal to a negative 9. And whenever we solve those, we end up with 3x on the left here. We end up with 3x is equal to 15, and that makes x equal to 5. And over here, we end up with 3x equal to a negative 3, and that makes x equal a negative 1. So if this was an equality, we'd be done. X equals negative 1, x equals 5, and we could actually put those 2 numbers in and check. But because it's an inequality, we have a couple more steps. So the next thing we're going to do is actually represent these 2 numbers on a number line. So I have x equal to 5. I'm going to draw an open circle here because it's less or greater than, sorry, not greater than or equal to. And at x equals negative 1. And do a little bit of an extension of the page here. And what we actually want to do is this. We're going to pick any value that's in between these 2 points. And what we're doing that for is to see if it makes our inequality true. If it makes it true, I know my solution falls between those 2 points. If it's untrue, so if I substitute in some value from between them and it's untrue, I know that my solution is on either side of the points. So what we'll do is we will choose, let's say, x equals 1. And we'll substitute that into our original inequality, which was this. 2 times the absolute value of 3x minus 6 is greater than 18. So 2 times the absolute value of 3 times 1 minus 6 is greater than 18. That becomes 2 times 3 minus 6, which gives me a negative 3, is greater than 18. We can already see this isn't going to be true. Absolute value of negative 3 is just 3. That gives me 6 is greater than 18. That's not true. So what I know is that my solution does not fall between these 2 points. My solution actually ends up being over here on either side of those points. And you could do a double check. You could take any of the points that fall within the range that I've just drawn, and you could check to see if they work. But our solution should end up being this. X is going to be less than negative 1, and x is going to be greater than a positive 5. So any value of x less than negative 1 or greater than positive 5 will make our inequality true. Let's do one more example. The exact same step, so we're going to treat it as if it had an equal sign to start with. And if we were solving that, we would separate it into 2 equalities. So we would have 2x minus 3 is equal to a positive 5, and 2x minus 3 is equal to a negative 5. We end up with 2x equals 8, so x equals 4. And we have 2x is equal to negative 2, so x equals a negative 1. All right? So our next step is to draw our number line. And I was not as smart with this one, so you're going to have to put up with my terrible drawing skills. Let's say our 0 is there. So we represent our 2 values on the number line. Again, because it's less than, not less than or equal to, when I do that, I'm going to represent it with an open circle. So So I have one at -1, and I have one at 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to do a test point. So any value of x that falls between those 2 points should work. I'm going to go with x equals 2. Okay? And what I'm checking to see if x equals 2 makes my inequality true, then I know that my solution is in between those 2 points. All right, so I have 2 times 2 minus 3 is less than, or absolute value of that is less than 5. That gives me the absolute value of 4 minus 3 less than 5. Absolute value of 1 is less than 5, which is true. Good. So we have 1 less than 5. That is absolutely true. So my solution falls between these 2 points. I'm kind of run out of space here, so I'll put it over on the side. Our solution would be that x is greater than a -1 and x is less than a +4. Okay? So any value of x that falls between those 2 points will make my inequality true.